It's amazing that in a world where everyone's charging for everything, that there's a platform out there that's free. So definitely look into it. And we do have a fundraiser. You
Yes.
have a fundraiser
Yes.
going
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
joined. I
Yes.
put it on my profile as well. Definitely,
Yeah.
please consider donating. And if you find yourself in a place where you're not able to donate, we understand. We get that. Like, share. That is a free way that you can also help to support my mental health and um, to get it out there into the hands of people who need it. I love my mental health. You guys are amazing.
Hi, I'm Sean from My Mental Health, and we're here with Bruce W. Brackett today. We're going to discuss some mental health tips and how to breathe while suffocating.
Yes.
His brand new book out, and I've read it, and it's completely amazing. It really focuses on trauma and getting through it and coming out on the other side. And it's really inspiring because Bruce's life from the very start was filled with addiction, trauma, and he's overcome so much. And you see him now, and if he can do it, anybody can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean. Thank you for having me.
Hi.
I absolutely love your organization of My Mental Health Inc. And thanks for having me again.
Yes.
It's exciting to be here with you and just to share space. And here we go.
Here we go again.
Yes, here we go again, talking about recovery in all different aspects, whether it's overcoming from trauma, mental health, addiction, just a day-to-day get through it. And it's where we're at today. And it's my mental health awareness month, and my mental health awareness this month has been absolutely spiraling, but there's a lot of things that are happening,
Yeah.
good and bad. And
Yeah.
we get through, whether it's grief or the day didn't go your way or work sucks or whatever. It all really ties into how it is that we are in our mental health, and that allows us to move forward. So if you can find your way back to at least some type of a center, you can move forward.
Mm. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I found with recovery too, being in recovery, being sober, um, when you do the work, your your perspective changes a lot. So you're able to walk through things with a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Where when I wasn't sober, I had a very negative perspective on pretty much everything. And I just really always ended like everything was fueled by my wounds, my trauma. I
Yeah.
was very defensive. If things were happening to me, I always thought it was like everything's happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just things happen in life. So,
And what I think is really interesting about, because I can relate,
yeah,
totally
yeah.
the same, in any respect of recovery, especially when you're just in a really dark corner and you feel like it's the end or you're never going to get out of it. That feeling of, oh, poor me, and why is this happening to me? But really, after you do a lot of the work and you start to do shadow work for yourself, you start to realize, oh, that wasn't happening to me, that was happening for me, so
Mm,
that I can learn something here. And um, if it's happening to you, it's not only happening to you, it's happening to many, 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 many people. Which my mom and dad, they used to say that to me. There are people less fortunate than you, which is true. And I would always look at that and be like, how is that to make me feel better, knowing that there's someone else that has it worse? That makes me feel worse, Like, I don't want people to have it worse than me. But then you circle back and you find a place of gratitude, and you do realize that truth that, oh, it could be worse.
yes. Yeah. And I think that just being sober and in recovery, we as recovering addicts, alcoholics, or just people in recovery, we really try to better ourselves all the time. And I've been doing that a lot too, where Maybe I would react to a certain situation that was upsetting to me. And so the next, not beat myself up about it,
Yeah.
how I handled it the last time, and just think of it as an opportunity for the next time to like react differently too. I know you've been grieving your mother, and
Yes.
I'm very sorry. But I've been talking to Bruce, and he's been dealing with it really, really well, and
Thanks.
in a positive way, And I know you had a little time to prepare. I'm just so proud of you for, I know she was a huge part of your life. If you read the book, I mean,
You'll
you'll
see.
see, like, she
She's a
really
huge
is.
a huge part of my life.
Yes.
And thank you for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so my mom just passed May 9th, and I did have a year of preparation for her
Mm.
passing, and I spent a lot of time going home and helping her get on hospice and getting the care that she needed and whatnot. And we saw a lot of, I mean, recovery. It's not linear, so there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
moments where you think that they're going to bounce back and
Mm-hmm.
then they plummet. And so I did have a lot of preparation with this, and grief is weird. It can be someone that means everything to you, and you see them sick for any amount of time. You don't want them sick anymore. So when she did pass, I n- knew that it was a relief for her because she had 78 years of just amazing life, never sick. Several years ago, she had breast cancer but didn't battle it, just like kicked it out of the park and was
Mm.
like, nope, no thank you, that's not going to be it. So she did. She had 78 years of an amazing life. So for the last year of her life to be as sick and as suffering as she was, it was a relief to see her no longer like that, and a relief for my father who was there the entire time, and a relief for me, so when she did pass, I was really shocked at how little I was grieving.
Mm.
You think it's just going to be this nonstop and sobbing cycle where you're not going to get yourself together again. And I've cried, but in moments. And I really think that that's something to realize, that when you love someone so much and you see them hurting, that when they're gone, this is grief. Just being and sitting and not crying and thinking and
Yeah.
remembering and sharing stories. So um yeah, thank you. I feel like I'm handling it okay.
Yes.
And it's gonna come in waves,
Yes.
like everything does. And right now I'm really not posting as
Mm-hmm.
much. I tried to do my typical run through the woods, run up to the camera, flap my fan, the hi, wait, and I felt gross.
Mm.
I felt I was like, why am I doing this? And who knows, maybe that cycle is done. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm going to step into something else and just be forefront about it without the gimmick
Yeah.
anymore. And it's so weird, like, because that's a huge reason why a lot of people follow me. And if I stop doing that, well, whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to stick
No, yeah.
around or they're not.
They're
So,
gonna stick around. Because I mean, just from the short amount of time that I've known you, Bruce online is the same in person.
yeah.
He's real, he's genuine. I actually watched a short video today. Like they were talking about talent and talents. It was Adele. It was Adele, and she's talking about talent. It's special. Some people have it, some people don't. And she's like, but what really makes it is character. You can have a talent and nobody could ever know, nobody could
Mm-hmm.
ever, but it's really character who makes it. And you are so genuine, um, and authentic and amazing.
So are
And
you.
fun too. And yeah, so I think that, when I started following you too, that's what I really was like engaged with. Your character is so genuine, and bright. You're just like a bright light. And that's what in your book, a lot of like you see Bruce's brightness, and you get to see the darkness that brought him to such light. And I think I cried the first two chapters I read because I just identified with like a lot of trauma. Everyone's completely different. I've gone through completely different things, but again, like I was just like, oh my gosh, like those are some
Yeah.
dark shadows, and now you're such a bright light. And also, in person too, though, you're real. Like you're not like, oh, I'm all rainbows and unicorns over here.
Mm-hmm.
You're also like, no, I'm not feeling great, and I'm not, I'm struggling right now. And I think people really identify with that because it life isn't all rainbows and unicorns, and it goes through waves.
It really does. And I try to post the moments where I'm like, nope,
Mm,
this isn't, I'm just not well right now.
mm,
And, we live in a world of people that post a lot of happiness and very, very unhappy lives.
mm.
And it's not serving anyone.
Yes.
It's not serving them. It's not serving the people that are following them.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, for me right now, I'm trying to get through every moment of every day, and it's been really hard. I've struggled with my sobriety over this last week, and
Mm.
I've played with the idea. And when that happens, I call people.
Mhm.
I get out
Yes.
of my head. We spoke on the phone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I try and get myself grounded. And when I'm spiraling in my own mental health outside of sobriety, I've tried to build those practices where I do the same thing, where I try and get out of my own way, release that to someone else. And it's not a burden when you
No.
do that. You're helping yourself and you're helping them because
Mhm.
we have no idea what someone else is going through. So
Mhm. Just like you were talking about, where like your mom would kind of remind you.
yeah.
So
And
nice.
I
Yeah.
use the app. I have it. Everything that you just said is on
Yes.
there. It's really amazing. And you don't have to be, I mean, you don't have to be someone that's dealing with addiction. It can be PTSD, it can be mental
Mhm.
health
Yes.
issues. There's so many different resources and modules, like you said, that you can navigate through and find what works in there for you. And it's just amazing that in a world where everyone's charging for everything, that there's a platform out there that's free. So definitely look into it. And we do have a fundraiser. You
Yes.
have a fundraiser
Yes.
going
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
joined. I've
Yes.
put it on my profile as well.
Mhm.
And the goal is 5,000, and right now we're almost at 1,200.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just
Please
gonna
consider donating.
definitely
Yes.
please consider donating. And if you find yourself in a place where you're not able to donate, we understand, we get
Yes.
that. Like, share, that is a free way that you can also help to support my mental health, and to get it out there into the hands of people who need it, and also to push it out there to someone who might be able to donate, not only for them but also for you. So
Thank
I
you.
love my mental health. You guys are amazing.
I love Bruce.
I love you.
Like someone can be going through something like really, someone may have it worse than you, and just calling somebody and sharing like what you're going through, like you call me and I'm like, I didn't just lose my mom, like I might have been in a bad place, I might have been, and I'm like, I'm so grateful for where I am, and I want to help you, like, so it gets you out of yourself.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like mental health, with a lot of people post, like you'll see like happiness online.
Mm-hmm.
Like
My relationship's
my relationship,
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Bitch, no, it's not. No, it's not.
So
I see you.
yeah, I see you. But yeah, so I think that also, like, you know, I think that we're at an age where we didn't grow up with all social media, right?
No.
Like it's
Yeah.
just like a start. Like we are like right on the cusp of like, okay, it exploded. It's like
We had
in our
three-way calling.
yeah.
We had three-way calling and dial-up. That's
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. For like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Mom, I'm on the internet. Like,
Yep.
yeah. So, but I think with our youth too, even my age and people older, you see so much of that online where you're like, oh, these people are traveling here, their life is so great. And people really got depressed over their own lives where that's not real most of the time. Or they're like, oh, look at this, or like on a Porsche, like, oh, I'm on a Porsche. It's like it's rented, you know.
It's not
Oh, I have
it's
a handbag. I'm in the store, like,
right.
like,
I didn't even
yeah,
buy it. The Porsche
yeah,
just happened to be on the street and you
yes,
pass by.
yes.
So, funny story about that actually. Teo and I were traveling, and I want to say that we were on our cruise. This wasn't a Hawaii trip. Which we've been to Hawaii twice, and both times I had manic episodes. So, like, when you're traveling and you're in these amazing places with your loved
Yes.
one, you can still freak out. Like,
Yes,
so
yeah. It's a lot of up, or
yeah,
energy.
it
Energy.
is.
It's a lot of energy.
And we were, I want to say that we were on one of the ports in Belize, and we were good. We were taking our time, enjoying it and whatnot. And we were people watching, and there was this influencer, no idea who they are, but
Okay.
this girl who was in a screaming match with her partner and arguing about how they wanted to shoot this thing that they were doing, and went to it to film and completely just like, oh my god, everything is amazing and I'm here with my loved one and blah blah blah, said what they needed to say, showed what they wanted to show, camera stopped, and immediately went back into this like screaming match with each other. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, everything's fake. Nothing is real.
Nothing is
And
yeah.
what you see online, I've said this 1,000 times and I will say it 1,000 times more: do not compare yourself to anyone, because you
Mm.
will lose your way. Comparison
Yeah.
is the thief of joy. Comparison is something where you're losing yourself. You spend so much time worrying, and that's how lives get wasted. And compare yourself to yourself, you'll become better. Stop
Yeah.
with the comparison of people that, and people you do not know
Yes.
online. It is absolutely upsetting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. And I love how you just said compare yourself to you.
Yeah.
Because everybody walks a different path. Everybody has different talents. Everybody has different walks of life. And nobody else is out there like you. You are unique. But then again, like we're all the same, right? So it's just like that. I don't know. That's so beautiful that you just said that. Compare yourself to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compare yourself to other people, you'll become bitter. Compare yourself to yourself, you become better. And my mom passed that on to me with the comparison is the thief of joy.
I love
You want to
that.
be in a place of gratitude and happiness, look at yourself. Stay in your lane, look at yourself. And your existence will be a lot more joyous. And with that, another thing with Mental Health
Mm.
Awareness Month, and especially with what I'm learning and going through now, I feel like I'm relearning this
Mm.
because I've worked on this a lot and I've known this, but happiness is from happenings. It has a starting point and it ends. So happiness is not a consistent thing. Joy can be. So
Mm.
when I find myself in moments of grief or crisis or anger or depression,
Mm.
anxiety, whatever it may be, I'm bipolar 1 and I am medicated on a very healthy dose as doctor prescribes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I still get moments like that. And what I invite you and what invite everyone else to try and adapt this practice into your life is when you're in those darker shadows, invite joy, invite happiness into there, because happiness and joy can exist in manic episodes. It can exist in anger. It can exist in grief. All of those combined can exist together, and it doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you psycho. It makes you a human. You might feel psycho or out of this world and not okay, but that's a part of this human experience. And when it's so difficult, like we said a while ago, when you're in those darker places, it feels like it's the end. There's no way out. You're never going to get out of this. But when you take that moment and that practice and pause to invite some joy or some happiness, and then you'll realize that this isn't going to last forever, and this too shall pass,
Yeah.
the good and the bad. So
yeah,
it's a ride. Buckle up.
it's a ride. Buckle up. Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be the best time that you've ever had. It's gonna be all of it.
Yeah, I know. Like yesterday, I just was having like I don't know, I woke up and felt really overwhelmed. Like I have to get so much stuff done this week, and I took one thing off my plate, and I was really lucky.
Good for you.
I did. I took one
Good.
thing, and it was a meeting with like our grant writer, and I developed a friendship with her too. And I said, "Hey, I am like up to here, I'm slammed." And she's like, "You're Superwoman, go ahead, like no problem, we'll reschedule." And I was like, that felt nice, like someone being like, "It's okay, I understand, go on, keep doing you." And I was like, that was really nice, and that just kind of set my tone for the rest of the day. And I worked a lot, and then my kids got home, and I was like, I want to take a nap. I am so tired. I was like getting in that weird space again. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just listen to some music and clean a little bit. And then I went out on the trampoline with my kids, and I really tried to stay in the moment. And it just, boom, move a muscle, change a thought.
Yep.
Love, like, that is for me too, especially because I struggle with sloth, procrastination, and depression. Move a muscle, change a thought really always kind of helps me get out of that. But like that's just, and it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's okay not to be okay. And like you're saying, like you don't have to, it's not the end all.
Yeah,
And
it's not.
I know. And, it's right now, it's just so, I feel like suicide and unaliving yourself is prevalent. And I mean, in addiction, we have drugs that are, I mean, it's like a pandemic of fentanyl,
Mm-hmm.
people who used to just, like it would go on for years, drug addiction, it just, they can use it once a little bit and
it's done.
done.
That's when it's like finite. It's
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Yeah, fentanyl kills like 150, 175 people a day.
Yeah. It's it's like a
Which I
pandemic.
don't honestly think that's true. I think it's more.
It might be because sometimes with anything, it's you can't
You don't know what
always,
you're
you don't,
smoking.
yeah, exactly, like you never know. And
Yeah.
oh, it's an overdose, oh, it's it's a poisoning. I actually talked to somebody the other day, and they were saying, I think we should really look at it as like poisoning, because
Mhm.
it really is.
We
Things,
look at alcoholism that way.
yes,
Alcohol
right?
is poison when you put it in your body.
I know.
What happens? You lose cognitive control.
Mm-hmm.
Your body inflates. It doesn't inflate. You're not like a balloon. What's the word I'm looking for?
Not a doctor. I have no idea. Wait, like inflammation?
There we go.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Your gut swells.
Yeah.
Your skin breaks out.
Yes.
I mean, and that's
the next
just
day you wake up like feeling actually sick,
Actually ill, you're
ill.
hungover,
Yeah.
you're
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Same with really any other drug.
Substance.
They're
Yeah.
chemicals that you're putting into your body that your
Mm-hmm.
body is telling you, hey, like, I mean, it's as simple as this. When you're taking a shot of whiskey and you have that burning, and it's almost like a little like
Yes.
that gag reflex, that is your body telling you, I'm not supposed to be drinking this.
Rejecting it.
It's trying to that's not a normal like, oh, that felt good. You might think that. I thought that many a time
Yeah.
because I don't know, that pain was better than what I thought I was
Mm-hmm.
dealing with. But just that simple reaction of your body naturally telling you, don't put that in my body.
Yeah. No, and I think that's,
Mind blowing.
yeah. Yeah, and people in recovery, like that's like I always say, like it was like I wanted a substance to make me feel better than like all that pain I felt, right? Like that's the only, and it's completely temporary.
Yeah.
You're just prolonging, like, oh, that fix that makes me feel okay for whatever, a couple hours, maybe not even, depending
Mm-hmm.
on what substance you're doing.
And
Um,
how far you go with it. And
yeah, exactly. But it's just, you wake up and guess what? All,
you're worse.
yeah.
Not only is your depression and anxiety
Yes.
still there, but now
Yeah.
you feel like shit on top of it. And
Mm-hmm.
then that lasts for however long. The older you get, the longer your hangovers are. And it it's that we're running from something,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's our mental health, anxiety, a situation, work, family, relationships, whatever the equation is for you that you're not liking and you're turning towards something to make you temporarily feel better, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not work. I've done it 1,000 times. I know you have too.
Yeah.
And we can say
We trauma bond.
it, yeah, it doesn't work. That doesn't
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful that I was able to spend the last year going back home, spending time with my mom. She saw me sober, truly
Mm.
sober. I was able to read my book to her. She was able to take that in. She saw my book be published. The most important thing is she saw me sober.
Yeah.
None of that would have happened. I wouldn't have been able to go home and take care of her if I
Mm.
wasn't taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And through all of the pain, and there was a lot of pain going through that, I've done things for my mom that hospice should have been doing. And um, that's hard. That's really hard and painful. And there's been countless times where I'm like, oh my God, just a bottle of wine will just make this so much better right now. And then I can kind of check out and just get through it. But
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
I'm choosing to check out and I'm not getting through it. So
Yes.
to go through this huge loss and to be sober through it has been really, really hard and so worth it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you because it's just very hard to.
Sorry, I noticed that I was having a full boob moment. I was like,
But
what's this breeze?
yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, but it's definitely, I'm so proud of you because it is really hard and everyone deals with it in different ways. But and the more you walk through really hard things sober, like the stronger you get, like it's kind of not the stronger you get, but
No,
the
the
more
stronger you
yeah, like
get
the
and
more
the
experience and you're
the
like,
more you can trust yourself to get through it.
yeah, and then also what I really love about it too is, you know, um, talking about like really hard trauma, or you can help like the next person get through the same thing. That's what I really love. Like, okay, I'm going through this really hard, or this terrible thing happened to me, or someone did this to me. That's when it correlates on helping another person go through the same thing and
Excuse me.
identifying,
Passing it down.
passing it down, your
Yeah.
experience, strength, and hope. So,
You can't keep what you have if you don't give it away.
yes.
That's one where I was like, ugh, I hate that. I hate that saying so much. Like what? But now I'm realizing I'm like, oh, it's the only reason why I still have
Yeah.
what I have.
What else can we talk about with your book?
Well, it my book, How to Breathe While Suffocating, um, really dives into the moments in my life
Mm-hmm.
that I wrote this. It's a memoir, and yes, the material in the book is what happened through my own experience, and I'm telling it from my
Mm-hmm.
eyes and my experience through it. But the reason why I wrote the book is to pass it on,
Yes.
to share it with someone who might be going through something similar or something way worse. Like, who knows? But it allows them to feel less alone and to have hope that it's not the end and that they
Mm-hmm.
can become who it is that they really want to become. And so, yeah, we dive deep in a lot of different topics in my life through sexual trauma, physical, mental neglect, drug addiction, being bullied at a very young age just for being who I was and living
Mm-hmm.
in my own skin authentically, which is a huge gift that my parents gave me. Um, and, especially looking back at it, I never really struggled with coming to terms as being gay, but everyone else did, not outside of my family and
Mm-hmm.
like the world that we were living in.
Yeah.
Am I having another moment? Um so nip slip, full boob, you're naked. Okay. Um Growing up in rural Montana as someone that was openly gay, I was bullied a lot, and I didn't necessarily ever struggle with my identity and knowing who I was. I knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to just be because of my surroundings and environment. Um, so I think it's really prevalent going into Mental Health Awareness Month that that's something that, and going into Pride Month, that people really struggle with their identity and they lose their way. And it is top tier in men, and especially in the trans community or the LGBTQIA plus community, where suicide is
Mm-hmm.
at its highest, um, simply because people are trying to identify and embrace who they are, and then they're rejected, and that spirals their mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And um, it it's its own pandemic, and it has been for a very long time. For a
Yes.
very long time. Did you know that Mental Health Awareness Month was established, I believe, in 1945?
Wow. So it's been around.
70
Yeah.
years, 72 years, something like that. I don't do math. But for so long, and we are still just in shambles over this. So it's like, can we
Mm-hmm.
all just get on board with, like, excuse my language, fuck the stigma with it. Start
Mm-hmm.
sharing your story,
Yes.
start being honest with where you're at, what you're dealing with, who you are. Embrace all of it, share it, release it, give it away to someone else, because you have no idea the impact of who it is that you're inspiring or who you're actually talking off a bridge, or, without even being there. I get comments and messages all the time from
Mm-hmm.
people that I've never met, and I just I share a video online, and then it comes back to me from someone over in England who literally had a
Mm-hmm.
gun
Yeah.
loaded, and they were like, I was ready. And this just it your experience in that saved me, which I have a hard time accepting. That I'm not a savior, I'm not the person that does that. I might provide hope and insight and maybe a little bit more clarity. But when you yourself are struggling with something so dark and so dangerous, and you choose not to do that, that is you choosing that. That's you showing up and doing that work. You might have been inspired by an outside
Mhm.
force, but I didn't do that for them.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, I truly believe like it's like the universe too, though.
Yeah.
You know, like somehow your video showed up on their feed
Yep.
at the right time.
Yep.
You know, like that's just,
That's above me. That's just the
yeah, no, I
universe. That's
understand exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the universe had something, and that means that it's like that's purpose,
It's
right?
purpose, and it's
It's
their purpose. They
yes,
have a reason of
yes,
being,
yeah,
and
and it's your purpose too to you know, you made the video, you were like, I'm gonna make it at, or you know, oh, I'm gonna post it at this time, I'm gonna put this hashtag, I'm gonna put just something like wording, or and you said the exact, and it just shows up on their feed.
yeah.
That's just the universe working like as it should. And I mean, that's that's the positive about social media, right? So
Yes.
you can reach somebody in England and help them out with their mental health, you know. So there is positives, you know.
Oh, there. I mean,
It's
if
absolutely,
you use it as a positive
yes,
force, it will do that. You
yes.
know, I was having this conversation with someone recently, actually, on um, an interview in Los Angeles, where we were navigating and weighing the good and the bad of social
Mm,
media, and yeah, life, there's going to be good, there's going to be
mm-hmm.
bad. So what do you want to gravitate towards, and what do you want to gravitate towards you more? And when you start doing the work, look at life as an algorithm.
Ooh.
When you start spending your time in things that you actually align with, and things that bring you joy or positivity, and if most people, I think, want to be happy and
Mm-hmm.
want to be in an okay place, um, then start engaging in that, and that's what's going to come back to you. If you come across a video that makes you infuriated, and you absolutely hate it, don't engage in it. Scroll away from it,
Mm,
because that's going to tell the algorithm
yes.
not to send that shit to you anymore. But when you comment your thoughts and feelings of how this is the worst thing ever and you should delete your account and blah blah blah, you're putting out that negativity,
Mm-hmm.
and you engaged in the negativity. So it's going to come back to you, and it's going to keep coming back to you, and it's this never ending cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think of life as an algorithm. What do I want to put out into the world, and what do I want to attract to come back to me? And if it's not providing good, if it's not um, going to better the
Mm-hmm.
situation, or provide good to the world, and if it's something that I don't necessarily need to hear, or is it something I need to hear, then those are things that I navigate. And that's my formula when posting. Is it going to be good in the world? Will this provide good in the world? Is this needed? And do I myself need to hear this? And if I
Mm.
do, if it checks those three things, then I post it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Simple little
I
things,
love you.
it can be
So
so simple. I love you
yeah.
too.
No, I love that. That's like a great formula. I love that. And I mean, you do. You post so much. You do. You put a lot of positive energy out into the world, and like that's amazing because you do reach people all over the world. You know, and
Speaking of, oh,
okay.
I just learned that I think I told you this, but I'm going to share it with everyone, that the book is being translated into Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we've done very well with the book, and um, based off of that, depending on how well it does, the more it can get translated. So our first one is Spanish, and I'm so excited about it. So I can reach more people that way,
Yes.
and
Yes.
communicate with people that I wouldn't necessarily just be able to sit down and have a take my hands and breathe moment and
Yeah.
communicate with them. Um, So yeah, that's exciting.
That is
And
exciting.
yeah, we'll see where that goes. And I'm like, who's gonna do the audio for that? Because I don't speak a lick of Spanish, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, oh, and how was I know you just did the audio for your book. I know, and you said it was I went to
okay,
the book signing and he was sharing with me like the audio experience.
it is not what I was expecting. My publisher was really trying to prep me and be like, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. And I
Mhm.
was like, I'm a theater kid. I got this. You know, I can work it. It was almost harder than writing. How do you relive all of this darkness and trauma, negativity, and make it sound good for the listener?
Mm.
Was really, really challenging. And coming across the parts of sexual assault or rape and making that sound intriguing for the listener was
Mm.
mind-boggling. And you know, coming across moments of my mom, who at the time when I was reading the audio, she was still with us, knowing that she wasn't going to be for much longer, and just trying, you know, so it was really difficult. I am dyslexic. I have fetal alcohol effects from being born into drugs and alcohol, so reading is not my forte to
Mhm.
begin with. And the studio was like, yeah, so we're gonna get this done in 3 days. 3 days? What are you talking about? It took me a year and a half to write the book. Like, I've never read a book in 3 days in my life, and then it was like a Dr. Seuss book, or you know.
Mhm.
So,
No, I get it. I totally. I'm dyslexic too, so I'm like, I get it.
yeah. So it
Mhm.
was a lot of stop and go, reread that. Yeah, my favorite is reading something so traumatic and stumbling over a word and having the audio engineer be like, let's redo that. I don't want to redo that 3 times. Okay. But it was, we did it. We did it in 3.5 days. They
Yeah, you
allowed
did
us
it
the
sober.
fourth. I did it
Yeah, there
sober.
you go.
And I'm, you know, for my first audio book, I'm I'm proud of it. I'm excited to listen to the finished product. And I have listened to quite a few audiobooks, especially on
Yeah.
vacation with my parents on long road trips and whatnot. We've listened to a lot. So I've been able to hear and kind of mimic
Mhm.
professionals and how their pace and their flow and their inflection. Um, so yeah, I'm excited. I think it's really going to be
I'm
good.
excited too.
I'm glad that the I'm glad it's done. I'm grateful that I was able to do it. I'm grateful that they wanted me to be the narrator,
Yeah.
because they I kind of had to audition for it. Like, I had to send in a
Really?
recording. Yeah, you know, because they want it to be
Okay.
the best it can be.
Mhm.
And if I just don't have the knack for it, then they'll want a professional to do it so that it can be the best that it can be. So I sent them a recording of about like 7 minutes long of just reading through a quarter of a chapter or a half
Wow.
a chapter or something, and they came back and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we'll go with you." So that was exciting. That
That's
it's my
amazing.
story coming from me.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure the listeners will like absolutely love that too. You
Yeah,
know, like your fans, your fan. What did you say? Your fan.
family member.
I can't do it. I can't.
Family.
Family.
FAN-MILY.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but how was I know I have been meaning to about the Cheer Choice Awards.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've read the book and you know that Las Vegas was not a
Yes.
great experience for
Yes.
me. I was coming off of drugs, 16 years old, runaway, getting into strangers' cars when it was a very
Mhm.
dangerous situation, then being alone and coming off of drugs on the strip. It was just very
Mhm.
very scary. And I had the honor of going last year to the Cheer Choice Awards, and I was nominated but didn't find out I was nominated
I
until
remember
after
it.
the voting
I
was
remember.
closed. So I just went out of
Yeah.
honor for those who nominated me. And this year I was nominated for 3 different awards. I made it to the finals of 2 of them. And I won the Mindfulness Award, which
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for that. Um, it's really a great organization. Spread the Cheer
Mm-hmm.
USA is the nonprofit that the Cheer Choice Awards is affiliated with, and the Cheer Choice Awards basically is a fundraiser to campaign
Mm-hmm.
for Spread the Cheer all
For the
year
holidays, right? For
for
the
all. Well,
children.
that's how it started.
Mm-hmm.
It's focusing on children in need,
Yes.
who need Thanksgiving dinner or
Mm-hmm.
Christmas
Yes.
presents.
Yeah.
But they've expanded and now it's year round. So
Oh,
they
that's
go and they
amazing.
give clothes or school supplies or build a ramp for a school that doesn't have an appropriate ramp or something.
Oh,
So
that's
they
nice.
go around a lot, and it's an amazing nonprofit that I've even fundraised for
Mm-hmm.
myself, which surprised me because I won the Mindfulness Award, and then from my fundraisers that I've done for the Cheer Choice and Spread the Cheer, I won an award for that as well. So
You
I
deserve
was
that.
I think I was the only one that won twice.
Really?
Yeah, so
You
I
deserve it.
I went and after you accept the award, you go backstage and you go down this hallway and there's an interview room. So you get off stage and you immediately go in front of cameras and do an an interview of like, how do you feel about winning the, so
Yeah, were you like, ah?
oh my god, this was amazing. So I went in, I was so excited, and I, still just being
Yes.
like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? I've never won anything before, unless I was in community theater for the Stitzy Awards, which was like Best Actor in Physical to Musical. It's like 8 years old, which I love, and I still have those trophies
Yes,
too.
yeah.
But um, like for something that's like life changing
Mm-hmm.
for people, and to be nominated amongst other people that are doing the same thing as me and are
Mm-hmm.
just as qualified and just as loving,
Mm-hmm.
it was really a surreal experience. And I'm so grateful that I was be there sober in Vegas to wrap it in full circle 18 years later, going from a runaway prostitute to accepting an award for overcoming and
Yeah.
recovery, and to share that light with other people. So when I went backstage for the interview, there's this lovely woman named Michelle who was the person doing the interview in front, like on the red carpet in front of the stuff and whatnot. And quick little interview because it's an award show; it goes pretty
Yeah.
quickly. And I said what I needed to say, and at the end of it, they like to take a photo with with the interviewer,
Mm-hmm.
the person who won, and then whoever is running that, and they come up with a bottle of tequila to each person. And I was like, no thank you, thank you, but no thank you. And they were kind of a
Pushy.
little insistent, like, well, at least hold it for the photo. And I was like, I don't want it in the photo. I don't want anything to do with that, thank you so much, give it to the next person. And he asked me like 3 times, like, are you sure? And I was like, I'm absolutely 100% sure, thank you so much,
Mm-hmm.
please give it to the next person. And so that was, it wasn't bad. I was grounded. I knew where I stood with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also just a reminder of how prevalent
Mm-hmm.
substances are, or alcohol is,
Yeah.
especially in places like Vegas.
Yeah.
It's
And I mean, I think that you saying that and sticking up for yourself and really holding your own, like, I just, like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I think that's very commendable because I don't know, I can get very like, well, okay, like maybe,
be your own advocate.
yeah, be your
No,
own advocate. That's great that you're advocating for yourself, especially You just won the mindfulness.
And my entire speech was based on my recovery and sobriety. And I know
And
that
you're
they
like,
have a
here you go.
camera and like a screen backstage so that they can keep up to date with what's
No.
happening on stage and everything. And I was like,
No, thank you.
I'm okay. Please give it to the next person.
Yeah.
And I was also really amazed of the amount. It was a great award show, but there was a lot of people from the queer community that won,
That's
which
great.
was really amazing. And two of whom are my mutuals online, and they're also sober. And the amount of sober people that were there, I was I felt in my own, so that was also really,
Wow.
really refreshing to be around. But
That is. No, I mean, and I think so I got sober and, I'm sure you've gone into sobriety like, 10 years ago before, or like, go into like the rooms of AA or NA or whatever. So I got sober like 13 years ago. I have 12 years sobriety. But it was like, there's such a stigma about, oh, you don't drink? Oh, what's
yeah,
wrong?
yeah,
Are you sure? Like I was like almost like embarrassed,
mm-hmm.
a lot of the time. And I don't know if that just came from like my perspective because, I was embarrassed about my addiction
Oh
and,
no,
stuff
yeah,
like that. But now it's like I see this like slight change
mm-hmm.
being, in recovery. I see this slight change of like people just questioning their relationship with alcohol, even if they're not, like have an issue. They're just like, yeah, no thanks. Like, I feel like waking up with a clear head tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's like very, I
and
don't
just
know.
in like an everyday life, like
Mm-hmm.
sobriety is catching on. It's kind of
I
becoming a
know.
thing. And I even saw this video of this younger person just being like, why is it that everyone's like starting to stop drinking? Like, what is going on? Are we
Yeah.
not fun anymore? And blah blah blah. And I'm just like, well, people are realizing that they're putting gasoline in their body and they kind of
Yeah.
want to
And
stop
it's
doing
being
that.
pushed on them.
And it's being pushed
I think
and
that it's been a real, it's for
it's everywhere.
decades. It's been really pushed on as as advertising,
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
money. Like that's like the driving force, right?
Speaking of,
And
we were kind of talking about conspiracies, and
oh
I I
yeah, I'm
don't
a
I don't
conspiracy theorist.
I know, me too. I don't really think that it is to be overlooked that we have such a health crisis in this country: mental health,
Oh,
physical health, pharmaceutical, big brother, whatever you want to call it. Like
they both, like the
they
same
are,
people prescribing you pharmaceuticals are the same people feeding you.
yeah, they are, and it,
It's kind of weird.
it's the unfortunate truth of, I mean,
Hmm.
just take a second, realize, open your eyes, and look. Okay, they're giving us all of these things that are keeping us sick. It's beyond alcohol, it's
Oh,
the preservatives in our
absolutely.
food.
Oh,
You
yes.
go over to any
I
place
was just
in
in
Europe
the.
and their cheese doesn't make you sit on the toilet forever,
Hmm.
because it's not
Yeah.
this over
Um.
sprayed
Yeah.
chemical.
I was just in the Dominican Republic, and my husband is a diabetic, type 1 diabetic. And we went to all inclusive and we drank probably like 10 virgin pina coladas a day, maybe more. We drank, I mean, like lots of years of pineapples. So his sugar the entire time was fine. Where if he drank a pina colada here or whatever, it spikes really high. He was like, even. We were like, what is going on? And I'm like, I think it's
Yeah.
just like made, with real coconut stuff and whatever, like
Yep.
it's homemade.
It's
It's
this
not
huge circle. Let's give them
so
the
bad.
stuff that keeps them sick so that they come to pay for
Yes.
the recovery of it or the medical treatment of it. So,
Oh yes. It's a very we
Yeah.
could go real deep if we
Yeah.
want. So
This whole video needs to be a YouTube
yeah,
video
let's
as
make it a
well. So
YouTube.
yeah, just saying hi.
Hi. But no, like no, it's you're so correct, and I don't know, I dove down so many rabbit holes, and so I grew up on a farm, so I have like this odd, it's not like a mainstream kind of view of food, is because we raised most of our own beef, pork, everything. So I got to experience like kind of like the circle of life. Like I'm not like, oh, like if you ask some children, they'll be like, oh, where does your meat come from? Oh, the supermarket. Like if
Yeah, but
there's like a
where does it
disconnect.
come from? Yeah.
There's like kind of a disconnect, but the smaller farmers are not trying to kill you, and I think that kind of gets mixed up in it. Like it's like big pharma, like big farms are trying, they're the ones who are using all this, shop local, like those
Yeah.
farmers aren't trying to kill you, they're just trying to
Purdue is not your friend.
they're just trying to make a living. Yeah. Yes, it's I know.
It's not your friend. I'll be really? Oh,
Yeah,
great.
I know. This was good though.
Yes. I feel
Yeah.
like, are we on Truth anymore where we're just like,
Hi.
I swear
Let
I'm
me
going to
look
sit.
into your eyes.
I'm going to sit on her lap when I walk on. I
Yes,
swear.
you are.
We're just going to keep
Alright,
putting that out.
we'll
But
do okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And then we should also do like a rapid fire. I always love doing this.
I
A
know
rapid
you
fire.
say this and I go, what?
Just
Okay.
quick
All
rapid
right.
fire.
Are you
of
gonna
that.
do it? I'm just gonna do it to you, or you're gonna do it
We're
to
gonna
me?
take turns.
All right.
We're gonna go back and forth.
Okay.
So I have requested this, and I always do, but we're gonna do a quick rapid fire mental health recovery trauma. What's your most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you moment? So do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to start.
Okay, so we're just gonna, this is kind of like truth or dare, but it's all truth. So
Great.
all right, Sean, what is the biggest mental health thing, as we are in Mental Health Awareness Month? What's the biggest mental health obstacle that you feel like you've overcome?
My sexual trauma in the last year.
That's a good one. That's a big one. That's a mountain. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're getting through it, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Like, can I be like, have you made out with somebody after you threw up?
Whatever you want to ask me.
Have you made out with someone after you threw up?
I'm gonna top that, and I have totally thrown up on someone's dick before.
Oh! I have not done that, but I was like, Queen, want to make out? So
yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Yeah. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened?
Make out. So
yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Yeah. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you, or that you have done?
I don't even know. There's so many. I'm trying to think of one that comes to mind.
First one that comes to your mind. There's got to be something.
I know, and I can't think of anything.
In the crack houses.
In the crack houses. Being in a crack house.
It might be the most embarrassing.
No,
anything on public transportation.
Oh, okay. I walked into a party that I went to, like a party house the night before, and my underwear was on the deer antlers. Yes, that was
up on the wall.
Yes, that was embarrassing.
Just like slingshotted them or something up there.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. So yeah, that was embarrassing. It was super embarrassing. Yes.
Yeah. I don't miss it. Aren't
Oh
you
my
so
God.
glad that you're not there
That
anymore?
made me like, it's like ick.
Yeah.
Ick, right? I'm so glad I don't have to live like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
So what is in the last year, what has been the best, your most used tool for recovery?
Picking up the phone.
Oh.
Picking up the phone, calling people and asking for help.
Okay.
Yeah, the phone, that was one that I was like, I don't want to share this with someone. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to, like, ew, I'm not going to do that. And I hardly know this person in recovery or in the program. Why am I going to dump that? I'd rather like call someone from my past that would maybe enable me a little bit and make it a little bit easier. So picking up the phone, going to meetings, but accepting the help that's actually being offered.
Okay.
Yeah. What is something that you would like to accomplish in the near future that is going to provide joy for you?
Mm. Honestly, right now, I am really just trying to try to get rid of these blockages of joy. So I guess it would be like overcoming my, I guess it would be like negative self-talk, because I think I'm the one who gets in the way. It's always me,
Yeah.
my mind. It's my mind that just goes, "No, Sean, you don't deserve that. No,
Yeah.
Sean." So,
I love that answer. That's so
and
good.
like financial stuff, yes, okay, that would be nice, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've really come to the understanding that time is like the real currency.
It is. Yeah.
So just, trying to enjoy it, that would be nice,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of getting in the way of that. That's really it. Like, time is the currency. Let me enjoy the time.
One more.
Okay. Let's see.
Make it count.
Okay. I'm not gonna do that to you.
No, do it. I love it. I want that one. I want that one.
No, because all of our stuff is like sexual, and I don't want to like cause any. I'll be like, I'm trying to. All right.
Okay,
So
well, you can edit it out.
how?
What was the question?
What's the oldest you've like gone for?
Oh my god, I love that question. Keep it in.
All right.
Okay, so I used to be a sex worker. I used to, I used to be a sex worker, and I would escort, and think, I think the oldest that I've been with was 70 something,
Ooh.
and let me tell you, they can still deliver. Like, oh my god, yeah,
Okay.
it was not a bad experience. I have been with older people in my past who were up there, like late 60s. I mean,
Okay.
maybe even 70. That I was like, does that window open? Like, can I jump? What?
Yeah.
Like, let me get out of this. But there was
Yeah.
one. I think he was 72.
Okay. I know, but so
Totally
it's
worth it.
yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. I know,
Yeah.
and like, so I think it's really funny that like I asked that because like we're actually like in our 30s now, and I think of it because you've been with Teo for a while. I've been with my husband for like over
Yeah.
there. So you're like, oh yeah, like who did I sleep? So like we're like a decade older,
Yeah.
almost 15 years older. And we're like, oh, who is your oldest? Like, okay, we were like in our 20s. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
now like a 6-year-old man, it's like, oh, whatever.
yeah.
Like,
That's only
we're
30
like,
years. Yeah.
like, I could date your son or your father. Like,
Excuse me.
What's
What's the oldest for you?
I don't know, a little older than my husband now, which he's like, it was like older 30s maybe, but
Okay.
I was
Because
like
Teo's
young.
15 years older than me.
Yeah, I was always like, I was young when I was doing all that because I got with Graham when I was 20. So like it was like, kind of like a bigger deal when you're like 19.
Yeah.
Like,
It is a little bit.
like, now I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
My parents weren't very comfortable with their 15, 16-year-old son
Yeah.
talking online with men who were in their 60s.
No.
I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't
no,
have an issue with
creepy.
it, but that just shows where my mental health was at that time. So
Me too.
yeah.
All right. So I don't know. That rapid fire was a lot.
And it was fun. That was good.
Trauma bond. Trauma bond. Trauma bond.
What's the worst thing
I
you've
know.
ever done?
I'm like,
oh my god. Or that's
oh.
happened to you. Oh my god. I don't know. Probably the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me. Oh my god. 50 things just flew into my mind.
See, mine just flew out. It was like, guess what? Disassociate. Like, it was like, don't think
not
about
gonna remember that.
Like antlers. I vaguely remember that.
Oh god, there was this party. There was this house party in this apartment in New York, and I was invited, and we went. It was fun. Showed up fairly sober, and got kicked out because it escalated that quick. Like, I got to the point where I'm pretty sure we were all doing like drugs and drinking and everything, and somehow Brucey ended up naked on the balcony, bending over, showing everyone my goodies. So yeah, the person was like, "You need to leave."
Yeah.
You need to leave. And it was probably not only just very embarrassing for the host, because I think they were probably more together than, well, they were clearly more together than I was at that current time. But
Love that for
it
them.
was also like, we're 45 stories above the ground. You're
Yes.
completely drunk,
Yes.
and you could easily
Yes.
jump or fall
Mhm.
over or something. So it was more like, you're a hazard. Please leave.
Yeah,
It went,
I've had the same. I actually, yeah, I've had the same thing where like I was about to go into the party and like they were like, "You're not allowed here," and I was like, "Oh," like and they're like, "No, you could overdose. Like, get out." Like
yeah,
like where like I was crossing that line of like where people
you're a
knew,
hazard.
yeah, you're a hazard. Like you're not fun anymore. Like the naked thing, okay, but like like it was like no, like you are past the point of fun. You're not fun. So,
Yeah.
I've been there too, where they were like, "You're not allowed to come in," and all my friends were like, "Oh my god, Sean,
Yeah.
it's so embarrassing."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been there.
It just makes us who we are today. We're
Yeah.
we're very fortunate to have
Oh my
survived,
god.
because there's so many times where we easily could just not be
Yeah,
here. But
absolutely.
yeah, I don't miss it. My life is so much more colorful now in so many different ways. I remember it. Like,
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
really be fully in it. So,
yeah. I don't. I think we laugh, because it is behind us, right? Like we're not living like that anymore.
oh, I wasn't laughing even soon after things
No,
happened.
yeah.
It
So, but
it takes time
it
to get
takes
there.
time where you're just like, oh man, like,
Remember
but
that one time I shit myself in a club?
yes,
Like,
yes. You remember that?
I actually, so I had a book signing up in Boston, and I
Mm.
saw Spencer,
Oh,
who's in the book, and
okay.
was there during that night. And we ran outside, and I told him what
Yes, I
happened, and he
remember this
doubled over
story. Yes,
laughing.
yes, yes, yes.
And um, we had both done so many drugs and um, drank so much that he didn't really remember that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I did, because I sobered up immediately when it happened. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, that definitely happened. So it
Oh
was fun to
god.
rehash some of the memories and see what it
Yeah.
is that I remember that's different from what he remembers. So
Mhm. Yeah, I've had that with my friends growing up. They're like, "Do you remember when this happened?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
nope, block that out.
Yeah, nope, blocked, disassociate that,
Yep.
or like I was actually blacked out and like just do not remember at all. But yeah, so that was fun.
Good job. That was
I'm
fun.
like, what is he gonna ask me? Ah.
Of course, I'm going
Um,
to ask you.
So, for Mental Health Awareness Month in May, My Mental Health Inc. is doing a fundraiser for My Mental Health. Now, My Mental Health is a nonprofit that delivers free resources through our application online. Anyone can download it immediately, it's available 24/7, and it has a complete program, a comprehensive program for anybody who is starting out in sobriety, anybody who wants to develop abundance in sobriety. It has over 28 modules and just developing abundance in every single aspect of your life in sobriety. It has a sober tracker, gratitude list. It has a goal setting feature. It has everything you would need, and it's completely free. And we want to make this available to everybody globally who does not want the stigma, because it's completely confidential, doesn't have the time or resources to get the help they need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
And
nice,
I
yeah.
use the app. I have it. Everything that you just said is on there. It's really amazing. And you don't have to be, I mean, you don't have to be someone that's dealing with addiction. It can be PTSD, it can be mental health issues. There's so many different resources and modules, like you said, that you can navigate through and find what works in there for you. And it's just amazing that in a world where everyone's charging for everything, that there's a platform out there that's free. So definitely look into it. And we do have a fundraiser. You have a fundraiser going that I've joined. I put it on my profile as well. And the goal is 5,000, and right now we're almost at 1,200.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just gonna
consider donating.
definitely please consider donating. And if you find yourself in a place where you're not able to donate, we understand, we get that. Like, share. That is a free way that you can also help to support my mental health and to get it out there into the hands of people who need it, and also to push it out there to someone who might be able to donate, not only for them but also for you. So
thank you.
I love my mental health. You guys are amazing.
I love Grace.
I love you.